5 minutes before noon. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti, along with Brian Nano, and of course Samantha Perry will be joining us throughout the afternoon. But you got to deal with these two old slugs to get you through the first part of the day here, and it's another beautiful day in South Florida.
Oh, boy, you said it, Ronnie. I just said we're beating a broken record here, but every day the weather's been picture perfect. That's why we have a fast main track. That's why we have a firm turf course. That's why we have big pools. That's why we have a big Rainbow Six today, too.
Yeah, we had a great day yesterday. Boy, it was really crowded around here. It was a lot of fun. Now you see we got 275 as the estimated pool in the Rainbow Six, and we'll see how it plays out today. Might have some news a little later on today, but we'll see how it goes today. You got a chance to take it down. Fast main track, firm turf course, all that good stuff. Let's jump right into this Sunday card. Brian's going to start it off. This race is a mile into 16th. Maiden claimers, 3-year-olds and upward, and we're going to scratch the 6th game of power. And Brian, early pick 5.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. I lost 2 top picks in here, so that was kind of a bummer for me. So we're shaved down to $12. Single in the opener, 4 deep in race number 2. The top pick there is the 6 goal. Race number 3, 43 is your order. That's one of the top picks I lost, so I scratch into Solidaria, the 4. Race number 4, another one there, scratch into the 2. Compass Rises, and a single to end it in race number 5. That is the 3, Emirates Affair. I think you have that one on top too, as she goes for her 3rd straight in a row, and she is the old heck to pay in there, Ron. Short number.
Yeah, I'm going to be singling her in that Rainbow Six, which kicks off in that race number 5.
Yep.
Getting into this first race, Brian, interesting to see how you went. I went with the inside horse, Dynamic Power and Empire. You went with Willingness. You actually singled this horse to kick it off.
Yeah, I chalked out here. Well, at least in the morning line. The betting so early right now, but 8-5. Carlos David, Edgar Zayas really woke up last time, and I don't know really what it was, but it was at Turfway, and Ron brings up a good point. It was at Turfway for Ray Handel, in that the Turfway horses have seemingly needed a race maybe, right, to get acclimated down here?
Yeah, we really haven't seen that second race yet. You know what I mean? We've seen the first. We haven't seen the second. And I can't remember a winner, but don't hold me to that. I think you might be right that they need a race there.
Yeah, but this horse is clearly the horse to beat, and you get expert connections as well. So I'll go with that one while readily admitting that Ronnie might be onto an angle there.
Yeah, with Dynamic Empire stretching out slightly after sending that pressured pace last time at finishing second. I thought it was a tougher field than this horse is going to face today. Paco Lopez is going to ride for Vic Russo. I just thought it was the way to go there with that speed. And I just think, like you said, if the 3's the one to beat, that means it's wide open. So I took a shot with the 1. And then you have the number 4 horse in here. And the number 4 horse is Final. Oh, we got a stat on that.
Yeah, because Final Data has run 3 times on the turf. We'll now try Tapeta today. And maiden claiming turf to Tapeta, 12%. Nothing too salty for Mark Cassie. I will want to mention this. The barn might finally be getting some traction. Winning races again. Just a really slow start to the Royal Palm meet. Seems to be turning the page now a little bit in winning races. I have to mention, Ron, we have to mention Jose Morelos is on the 8. Long shot Kryptonym. He's looking to win his 5th consecutive race. He won 4 in a row yesterday, and we've kind of been saying it for well before yesterday. Young kid that's riding great right now. Always a smile on his face. The horses are in the right spots, and he's delivering, one of the good guys, and it's great to see.
I want to talk about the 2 just real quick. Naysayer, he's wheeling back to finishing second to that buzzsaw last time out.
Yeah.
DeMonte Gras. Well, that course didn't come back around. But talking about guys that started to wake up, Bobby DeBona. That's the point I was trying to make here.
Yeah, if I had to do this line over again, I probably would have made this horse 6 or 8 because you've seen it the past couple of days now. They are just pushing all in on this barn now. Yeah. Another barn that's starting to get going.
Yep. That's why I just wanted to mention a bit, just like with Jose Morelos, which is a great thing to mention here.
I agree.
Race number 2 this afternoon is going to be on the turf. It's a mile. It's a maiden claimer. And these are fillies, 3-year-olds. We have no scratches. Nice full field of 10. Brian, you want to show your pick 4?
No, we'll just tweet it out. It's just a run back of that early pick 5.
And you started off with what? Not Beaches and Pearls? Oh, we get the video.
Yeah, we can start with Beaches and Pearls and No Mo Cookies. Yeah, they ran 2-3. Beaches of Pearls second. No Mo Cookies third. The winner is Lady River Lily, so she's the 5 horse, and she gets the right kind of setup to swoop them here. But Beaches and Pearls threw down pretty good in this spot. No More Cookies, Ronnie, at 2 to 5 though. Can't see this out. That's a real kind of bummer for me. And this was their 35. Armando de la Cerda dips in, now runs for 50. So I like that. I like the fact that here's a horse rising in class off the claim. I don't know, Ron. It looks like there might be a little off the fastball here.
You know, you went with the number 5 horse in your goal, and this, as you were alluding to, with Mark Cassibon starting to wake up, dropping from that maiden special weight to 50.
Yeah, so it is a big drop. Now, the Sol Doro has proven to be a bit of a fraud. I thought off her debut in this race back on January 5th, boy, I thought she was really going places. I thought she was going to be a graded stakes kind of 3-year-old filly. It hasn't worked out for her at all. She's been a major disappointment to me, and I'm sure the connections and the bettors too. But regardless of what you think of her, this is a really stiff drop.
Just something I remember, the horse, She's a Hefty You Almost Had Me. That horse, I remember, was won the Grade 3 Miss Preakness. So I remember being there and watching that horse run. So
you'll be there again.
Yeah, whatever that might lead to in there. And then what did we see with the number 10 horse in there? And that's Scarlet Sands. And this one also dropping for Carlos David.
Yeah, I initially, Ron, I wanted this horse at 9 to 5 or 2 to 1. I couldn't get there. She's probably going to be lower than this. It's not a good post. The class drop here is huge. The winner of the last race, Obesiant, for Pletcher, looks like she's going to be a big-time 3-year-old filly. Huge drop for Scarlet Sands.
You make a lower question of post or just?
Post, and just 5 points going from 5 to 2 to 2 to 1. Post is not ideal. Rails at 59 feet. It's not ideal out there.
Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon. And this one here, we did have a couple of scratches, so we're dealing with a 4-horse field. Scratched the 2, the 6, and the number 7 here. I know you lost the top pick in here. We both have 4-3. Solidaria, I scratched into, you scratched into.
Yeah, she's a 3-time winner, and she really gets flattered by the scratches, too. The only horse to her outside has no speed whatsoever. So Solidaria now in a condensed field of 4 with an absolutely perfect post position. The Peggy Sue I Love You is probably going. Solidaria lapped right on her to the outside.
Also the only 3-year-old in the field, but I don't think it makes that much of a difference now with all the scratches in that race. It becomes, as Brian always likes to say, that's sort of like a jockey's race.
Yeah.
You got to find your spot. What about race number 4 today? And this one's going to stretch out to a mile 70 yards. These are claimers. They're fillies and mares. They're 3-year-olds and up. And I know that your top pick in here was the number 8, Evanora. You know, I missed this horse. I didn't even have this horse on my ticket, so I sort of I laughed and I said, thank goodness I get saved here today with the scratch of Evanora. I always had the 7 on top, China Blue.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean you had to pick Evanora.
Right.
I think she was a big player. China Blue is going to get bet for Jose D'Angelo. All these horses now with Evanora out are going way down in terms of any value you thought you might get, but I didn't think she ran that well last time, Ron. And Jose gets horses, and he typically improves them quite a bit. I don't know. She was kind of a middling 3rd, and they didn't bet a nickel on her. She was 8 to 1. That's very surprising to me.
Well, yeah, I just thought with the drop that, and the connections, of course, you're going to look at. And Compass Rises moves to the Angel Rodriguez barn after the claim. This horse responded to the class relief with that 2nd, going a mile into 16. Very limited sampling, but this bond is okay first off the claim.
I mean, if you just, exactly, 21%, so that's 3 for 14. If you just look at her one race on the Tapeta, which is really, to me, all you should do, it's a big-time race and way better. The 1 and your pick as well, the 7, 3-year-old fillies, China Blue facing older horses today for the first time.
Well, we'll see how that race 4 plays out. But what we'll do right now is we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket and the rest of the Sunday card.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views, Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Back to Gulfstream today. Lots of fans here telling us what they think about us. And I'm just joking around. One of our bosses are giving us a little fun here. The fifth race is going to be 6.5 furlongs, an allowance optional claimer. These are state-bred fillies and mares, and they are 3-year-olds and upward. We're going to scratch the inside horse, Cajun Fantasy, and more importantly, this is where the Rainbow Six starts today with that 10-race card. Here's my ticket, $43.20 for me once again. I'm single in Emerson Fair. We'll talk about this race. 4 deep in race number 6. What an interesting race is with a couple of horses in there like Panther Island. Yes, I'm free or going down, but they are fast when they're right. In race number 7, just 3 for me. My top pick is the 6th, and that is Nudge for Todd Pletcher. Race number 8, that's our feature race, the Golden Beach. I'm going with Great Venezuela. I just thought that was the right horse in there, but I also used a couple of others in there, the 2, Tiffany Gold, and the 5. Mrs. Gambolini, who's going to be probably the big favorite in there. Race number 9, 2 deep with me. My top pick is the 10, Ship Cadet. We got a video we're going to show. And then the last, I don't know if it's going to be a long shot, according to Brian, 4, Battle Call, but I did use a couple other horses. But Battle Call is going to be my long shot today, maybe. So $43.20 to me.
You got a scratch down on the inside of a horse people were going to play, so I don't think so. That turf race Ronnie alluded to, race number 6, is great. You see the one we got on Thursday? It's like a stakes race on Thursday. The turf sprints we're running out here at Gulfstream Park have been just second to none. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, so we'll see that. Let's talk about this race. To me, it looks like Emerson Fair is the one to be. We got a video we can show running against Alana Alexandra.
Yeah, I wasn't looking to really beat her either. The only thing I will nitpick a little bit, Atlanta Alexandra, who we've known for a while down here, she was 28-1. So I don't necessarily know how impressive you are when you beat her, but she's doing it so easily, Ron. Team Mubarak off the claim now. Paco says, absolutely, I'm coming back here, and he's been aboard these 2 dominant wins. It's just very short number, and I didn't see anybody in here that's supposed to beat her.
Yeah, Paco going for the hat trick in there, so we'll see how it plays out. Panthers lost that one yesterday. We'll be back. You mentioned the 6, Atlanta Alexandra. It is what it is. That's what you get for Georgina Bax. The horse runs okay. We'll see how it runs. Now, today, this horse will be ridden by the apprentice, Yoba Torres. So the 10 pounds, does that make a difference?
Well, I mean, let's look at it now. She was in at 110 last time, and the favorite was in at 122. Right. So the break is still 12 pounds, so it's not that significant. If at Atlanta Alexandra wants to be good again, she was okay back in the day. Right. And if that's a sign she's going back forward again, hey, maybe, we got something here. And I don't think the extra half furlong cutback is going to hurt her any either.
Yeah. What about Dave Brady's horse, the 7 Just Philly? And this one, Edgar Zayas is going to hop aboard. Came off the bench and ran okay against those state-bred allowance runners.
Yeah, Feedy and Volatile are pretty good. Now, they disappointed the other day, but that was against a good group of open horses as well. Just the Philly's got to improve. She is 3. She's going to run against older horses, but she didn't really break last time. And with an alert beginning, I think Edgard will put her in the race. She might trip out off the favorite and off Atlanta Alexandra.
So we're sort of in agreement that number 3 in the Emerson Fair, probably the one to beat there. You say, hey, that's why they run these races.
Well, I'll tell you what, if she doesn't win, all of a sudden after one race, the rainbow gets blown up.
Without a doubt, because that's, as we say, the international's good thing single in that race. Peter will be probably yelling out whatever that saying he says. The 6th race today, 5 furlongs on the turf. This one is an allowance optional claim. We were sort of talking about this. It's 3-year-olds and upward. It's going to start the late pick 5, also the tropical turf pick 3. So we got tickets from Samantha we'll show, and then we'll talk about this really, really interesting race. She did the right thing as far as I'm concerned, going deep.
Okay, she's spreading 5 deep here in race number 6, 3 deep in race 7, 4 deep in race 8. Samantha will be out here for the opening race. She's singling in race 9, 91. Ensign Parker, okay. A lot of speed in that race.
Yeah.
I like that pick. I'm on that one too. And then in the finale, she's on the 3, Mr. Abario. That should be a square number, as well as the 6. Going to try to pop him with My Sea Cottage, who you played last time,
right.
and My Sea Cottage showed some signs of life after a dreadful return. So I do think he's dangerous today.
Also, Mark Cassie.
Mark Cassie.
So now,
Yep.
no, sorry, Brian. Getting back to the 6, the Tropical Tiger, similar situation.
Yep.
I think she's right doing this, and she's singling that 6 horse in the last.
Yeah, because this is a $3 base wager, and obviously you can't, $90 to use both of them. $3 base wager, 15% takeout. What a bet it is.
Now we'll get to that. I was chomping at the bit to get to this race here. Interesting to see. So you did go with the number 10 in here, Mattingly. I think you got a replay you want to show?
Yeah, I'm a stubborn guy. We all know that. We're going to show the replay. I played Mattingly. This is February 28th. I don't know what he was doing way back there. I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, Ron? And he's rolling late. I know they went 42-4. I get all that. But he doesn't have to be out the back. No way. And he's just too late to the party. It's as simple as that. He's way wide. And he should have been second. I'm not going to tell you he was going to beat XY Speed, who got good again. And Paco gave him a heck of a ride. I just don't understand why he was out there. He's not going to be out there today. Paco put this horse in the race. I think that's a problem for everybody. He's my best bet of the day.
The number 2 Refuel, the half-brother, the Grade 1 stakes placed, I think following season, making his 4-year-old debut as a gelding after sort of a weird freshman campaign, in which he won his debut here, 5 furlongs on the turf. He was stakes placed at Keeneland. Then he called it a day at Churchill.
Where have you been,
right.
Refuel? That's the question. Going to come back as a first-time gelding. He's got a win here, and that win was off works. So I think that's a big deal for Todd Pletcher. He already has shown he can run fresh. I'm not going to pretend I know what happened to this horse, but something went awry, right?
Without a doubt. Yeah.
How's he coming back today? He's going to get bet for sure for the Hall of Famer, Edgar Zayas. The works don't really give anything away. He's favored on your morning line. Check the tote board because he's supposed to be bet, and he's supposed to be bet hard.
Talking about a couple of horses in here, one of them being Panther Island, I think finds the pace scenario a little bit easier today. You have no chance when Coppola's in the race.
No.
So, he just goes out 24, 42, and 3, and he wins the Gulfstream Park Sprint.
Yeah.
What do you get from this horse today? I'm so intrigued.
Yeah, well, he's drawn well. He can't run with Yes I Am Free, the 6 horse, but he's probably getting first run on everybody else. And Yes I'm Free is just not the same horse anymore, and he's been caving in late. That could theoretically, at least on paper, put Panther Island in the right spot when they hit the far turn.
Yeah, and Yes I'm Free, that's what I was alluding to at the top. If these horses in there, heyday, you got to have them on your ticket without a doubt, on top of your ticket.
In his heyday, he would drown this field, but that's not the case anymore, and you just see it in his running lines. He's still really fast early. He's got a big problem off that far turn.
Well, we'll go to race number 7. It's going to be a mile, 70 yards under the Peter. These are maiden 3-year-olds. We do have a scratch in here of the 4, Folktale, and Brian has his late pick 4 ticket to show you.
$32 late pick 4 ticket. This one, I lost a fringe player in the last race. 4 deep here in race number 8. I miss Gambolini. Too tough for these guys for me. I can't wait to see her come back for Safi. And then a 4x4 late double. I'm on the inside, Ensign Parker in race 9. I lost my long shot in race 10 to the 1, so I scratch in to the 4, and that is Battle Call, who I do kind of think is going to end up being favored in that spot, but we'll see. There's a lot of – the fun thing about the finale is there are at least 4 horses, if not 6 horses, that have every right to win that race.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it.
Yep.
I was swearing when I did it that the 4 horses, I don't know with the scratch now, that the horse would be 6-1, 4-1, 6-1, but I could be wrong now with that scratch in there. Getting back to the 7th race this afternoon, did you start it with the $5 hound?
I did, yeah, and we've got the replay too. The replay is the Topeta race because we don't care about the turf race. It wasn't that good, but now we're back on Topeta today, and this was a pretty solid second on debut. Emergence is going to win the race, and that is the 7 horse, but this is who's looping right now. This was a solid run by Daham. Jose D'Angelo, not necessarily known for his first-time starters, about 11%. So I expect more from Daham today. He was kind of a come-again second type of thing. I think it's potential for a breakthrough today, and I think he catches some of these horses at the right time, too, Ron.
He certainly bred well. He's a half to Hank Bill and won $4.7 million in free drop Billy, so grade 1 winner itself. So we'll see.
Yep.
And you're right. You got to key off that Tapeta race. You can't look at that.
Yeah.
I did go with the 6 in here, Nudge. I thought this horse had a bit of a shot today. We shifted to Tapeta and raced without the blinkers. Returned from an extended layoff, like 7 months in there. He broke awkwardly. I went back and looked at this race. It says steady. I didn't see no steady at the 8th pole. At the 5/8 pole, he went like for a second. Yep. He called it a day after that. And if you watch that race, he really wasn't running in the stretch. I just think with the upside and going to the Tapeta, Todd is 23% switching surfaces. Maybe I got Dahan on for all the reasons you mentioned, but I thought maybe this horse can run well today.
Well, the only note I had was that he was ranking on 7, so I'm with you. I didn't see any checking. I didn't see any of that.
Right.
My last note, I think, was the big – he was 80 cents on the dollar, by the way. My last note was nothing to offer at all. No, that was a wildly disappointing comeback.
No, he didn't run it all in stretch. Because I went back and said, he's steady at the 5. I was reading the trouble line.
Yep.
And I looked twice, and I did not see it.
Nope.
Now the 2 cashed the money who ran well in the Turfway Tapeta and the Woodbine Tapeta will try the local all-weather surface today. Once again, Mark Cassie's going to jump in for Ed Gonzalez, gelded son of Gunrunner. What do we get today?
Well, I think we get at least, if nothing else, a horse that's probably on his preferred surface. I don't know what that means at 4:04 in the p.m. That was not a good effort last time. Bulldoze, I thought Bulldoze was going to be a real good one. He didn't run very well the other day at Keeneland, so we'll have to see. But he does have solid Tapeta form. But as Ronnie mentioned, it's not here. It's at Turfway and it's at Woodbine, and those are vastly different courses than what we got going over here to our right.
Yeah, we get the same super mixed around.
Yeah.
So you know what we'll do? We'll go to the feature race. It's race number 8. It's 5 furlongs on the turf, and as Brian mentioned, these turf sprints have been great. This is the Golden Beach, $70,000. Scratch the 7. Oh, darling, in here. You went. Let's show Mrs. Gambellini first.
Exciting prospect here for Sappy Joseph Jr. and Mika Husbands knows her because he was aboard here. I know this horse is 70-1. I get that, but this 70-1 actually ran second. And watch, Miss Gambellini just eats her alive off the far turn under an absolute. I'm going to quote you, buddy. Little jiggy jog in the park here. She's got her anytime Mika Husbands wants. Pushes the button, barely pushes the button. Look at the acceleration; it's instantaneous. And wow, watch her level off in the lane. She didn't even really get out of 4th gear there. She's already beaten older horses. Yes, this is a stakes. I get it. She's drawn perfectly. Looks like she's coming into this the right way. And I think she's an exciting horse, Ron.
We'll see how she runs. That is truly a jiggy jog in the park.
Yeah.
I did go with Great Venezuela, and I'll tell you why. She's shown she's just not a Tapeta specialist. No. When she followed that game second, that was in that Sunshine Filly Mare Turf. She came from behind to win the 5 furlong Lightning City at Tampa, in which she defeated a couple of next out winners. I think her ability to stalk or go to the lead is going to help her with that inside post. She might run into this Mrs. Gambellini, but I had to flip-flop them.
Well, we can show you how good she is. We'll take a look at it now. Because she is good. And I know you're going to say, look at her looping at Tampa. You lose a lot of ground on the turns at Tampa on the turf. It's tough to do it. She's going to win this race by 2 lengths. And this was an impressive effort here. That was open company, too. It wasn't one of those state-bred stakes races at Tampa. And she levels off very nicely, too. And you can say, well, she's 7 for 10 lifetime, but she's only 1 for 3 on the turf here at Gulfstream. But the 2 losses, Ron, were at 2 turns. She is not a 2-turn horse.
Right.
Her sprint, the win was really good here. Right. And yes, she is clearly the main danger to the Miss Gambellini.
Then we got a third picks, a flip-flop. You went with the number 8 horse in your soul. Hope I went with Tiffany Gold to try and make it 2 in a row. She was game last time against 62,500. I don't know what we get with the 2 horse today.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think she's going to have to. This is the old acid test for her because her stablemate, Great Venezuela, is comfortably better than she is, as is Miss Gambellini. Now, with that being said, she's got 2 wins on the Gulfstream turf, and she's putting together a nice little resume too.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Really nice race there. Race number 9 this afternoon. We're going to sprint on the Tapeta in race number 9 for claimers 4-year-olds. And we're going to scratch the 5 Mr. Dr. O'Sarin and the 7 Neophyte, who I had some interest in. But all along, I had a Ship Cadet. I know you guys like Ensign Parker, and you got a replay you can show.
Well, here it is. I mean, yeah, Ronnie's horse wins this race. Okay, Ship Cadet's going to win it, and he's going to do it the right way because it was not easy for him. But there's a lot of speed in here. How about this Ship Cadet and Ensign Parker?
That's the hunch play of the day.
Oh, how about that now, right? And Ensign Parker's trying to loop here, going to lose some ground on the far turn, but you cannot take anything away from Ship Cadet because he's doing all the dirty work while old Ensign Parker's back there just kind of waiting for it to unfold. He did have to go wide. Ensign Parker broke from the 12 post that day. You can see his saddle cloth. So he's got a better draw today. There is hellacious pace setting up today. Here's the other kind of thing too. Jose Garofalo does such a solid job, but this horse is off the claim today. That was with Mike Maker, Ship Cadet. Paco's this is a good post for Ship Cadet too because all that other speed is obviously to his inside.
Yeah, it's called the salty sea dog angle when you have Ensign and Ship Cadet, the same thing. Here's the thing. After that, where'd he go?
Well, I don't know. Hey, one more thing too, by the way. Ship Cadet was the one horse to come down from Turfway to win. So you got to kind of golf clap for him a little bit more,
right?
Very,
very good point there.
From there, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's from there, to me, it's anyone's guess. I'll tell you what, Lunar Rocket is not impossible in here. He was 68-1 last time. That race he comes out of was way better than this one. David Baracco almost got a win the other day. So he's going to close. He's going to be a flow horse in this race.
The only reason I used Cosmic Speculation underneath, now this horse I originally had 4th. I bumped him up to 3rd with the scratch and Neophyte. Edgard's jumping aboard.
Edgard's jumping aboard.
Be there, so you got to give that horse the old second look. But it looks like 1-10-10-1 in race. Now, going to race number 10 this afternoon. It's 7.5 furlongs on the turf. These are claimers 3-year-olds and up with 4-0, 4 and up, which never won 3 races, I believe. Scratched the 1 Clear Vision. And you went with the 4.
Well, you take it away. I scratch into the 4. You liked them all along.
Yeah. He's down to Jose Gallego's barn. And he's a gelded son of hard spun, which I like. He drops into this condition claim and returns to the turf. He won 1 of 2 routes on the Tapeta against Tougher. The last time this 6-year-old ran at this level on the grass was at Del Mar. He won like an international good thing, so, right?
Yeah, that's why he might be favored in here. Everything you just said is why he might be favored.
Well, you scratched into him, so you didn't agree with this right away, right? You had somebody else on top.
I did. I had the one on top. I like these guys. Amity Racing does such a good job. Jose Gallegos does too. Everything Ron said is 100% accurate. That's why I said he might be your morning line favorite. I went with Alley-Oop Johnny as a favorite because it's Marty Drexler and all that stuff, but this horse fits like a glove against this.
Let's talk about him. Alley-Oop Johnny. He's turning back. He surrendered that late lead when finishing second. He gets 20 open claimers going a mile. 4, Marty Drexler, MSL Jaramillo. It's a 7-time turf winner. That's not the favorite?
No, he's a house horse. That's why he is the favorite. But I don't know. We'll see. By post time, they bet this horse a lot. It's Marty. Of course they're going to do that. Bruno Schickendas as well. He's a big player in here. And we can show Uncle John in My Sea Cottage. Ronnie picked My Sea Cottage last time, and they did bet him last time. I didn't think they would because he was dreadful in his comeback. Well, he showed some signs of life. He tried to gut it out. He just hit the wall late. He went too fast. The problem for My Sea Cottage is Uncle John, who was beating a neck in just a Herculean effort here, he's the one that was dogging him last time. So, why is it going to be any different today?
Yeah. I think that's why I'm saying I think these guys can. And what do you do? Now, Samantha had 3 and 6 on the ticket. When she singled up the Tropical Turf, she did go with the 6. But what do you do with Mr. Barrio in here? Is a late striding time. He returns to the turf and races without blinkers for Safi, who's 23% with the equipment change. You look for the son of Neolithic. I think he's going to be closer to the pace today with the Apprentice. He can't be the favorite.
I would be surprised if he's the favorite because you look at they don't really bet him on the turf. And his turf races, quite frankly, aren't that good. Not of late. This is a better group, I think, than he's been running okay. But he's a little slow. I don't know. And he doesn't really get bet. He was 4 and 14. It's not like the typical Safi kind of steam, in his races. To me, they're still a little cut below.
Then you got the two Fredo, who always seems to be around but doesn't seem to win. And, the joke, we always got the Godfather joke. It's like running out, being the son. Oh, you never watched The Godfather, so Fredo was the son that wasn't that sharp. So we'll see how that plays.
I've tried Fredo a dozen times, but I have not tried Fredo in about his last 6 starts. He's a cool dude. But
I've tried him. I always put him on my try super. He's a cool dude. He really is.
Check earner.
Yep. So that's it. Let's go to the lightning round, which is always a lot of fun.
Yeah. And today, more so than ever, because they drew the Kentucky Derby and they drew the Kentucky Oaks last night at Churchill. And you're going to look at these fields. Thanks, guys. The 21, Baeza. They didn't have this on their graph. I don't know why. But anyway, you can see the big hitters, Sovereignty and Burnham Square. Your buddy Burnham Square are prep winners. Unfortunately, Tapan Street, who won the Curlin Florida Derby, is out. But Sovereignty and Burnham Square, to me, Ronnie, they're on the short list of potential winners of this race.
Yeah, Neo Equus gets him. Happy Joseph Jr., one of us. Of course, journalist, Burnham Square. It's going to be a wild race. Sovereignty post 18. That give you reservations or?
No, I had some buddies on a text chain last night all up. I think it's fine. I mean, he's going to break. He's going to take a left turn, try to get a little closer early. They get a quarter-mile run. I think the post position in the Kentucky Derby, with the exception of the one, I get that, is the most overrated thing that people talk about out there. And don't forget, they now have the 20-horse starting gate.
Right.
Instead of the auxiliary gate. So even the one is not zero chance like it used to be.
I know you're a line maker. I never thought Sandman would be 6-1.
No, I would had 5-2 on journalism with Sovereignty as a second choice.
Right.
But I thought this to be. I don't like to criticize other people's morning lines because we could do that for people do it. To me, I don't like to do that. I thought this was actually pretty darn spot on.
Yeah. I just thought Sandman would be a little higher, only because not odds wise, ability wise. I didn't think he should be 6-1.
No, I thought Sovereignty would be but
that's what I meant.
I thought this was a solid, really good line.
Yeah, that's a nightmare when you're the line maker with 20 horses. And we got the Lilies. Get that?
Lilies and more Gulfstream horses in here. I will say this: good cheer at 6-5. That was very surprising to me, even though she's undefeated. 5G, our Gulfstream Park Oaks winner, Ballerina Doro. We saw her, and of course we saw La Cara, who went on to win the Grade 1 Ashland at Keeneland. We saw her, both La Cara and Ballerina Doro, in the Devona Dale. So we're beating this thing down, but it's because it's factual information. Around the Gulfstream horses have gone out of town and just been absolutely awesome.
I mean, through the years they've just owned. If you want to do percentages. I've owned, horses going from the Florida Derby into the Kentucky Derby and winning. But we got a lot of good stuff going on here, too.
Yeah, that was fun yesterday. Team Clement threw it down with Ozara and Breathaway going at it. And Ozara's, we kind of, we said maybe speculated that the tactical speed of Ozara might get first run. I liked what Paco did. He put Breathaway in the race. He gave her every chance. Just a little too much from Ozara.
Yeah, and he just had to steady a little bit and turn it
into the turn.
I don't know how much that meant, but it looked like something happened. He looked like he yanked up the horse just for a minute, but they ran 1-2. You could have had him 1-2 or 2-1. They both figured in there.
Yeah.
Of course, each weekend when Santa Anita's running, we got the Coast to Coast. I believe it starts in race number 8 today. Race number 8.
There we go. Here. About a 2-hour and 32-minute window. Retail only. No computers in that bet today. From race 8 here to race 7 at Santa Anita. Quickly, T-Pick 3, of course, as well. And then best bet in long. I lost my long shot.
My best bet today is Emirates Affair, which is, everybody's best bet, I would think. And what do you have your best bet?
Best bet, Mattingly.
Oh, Mattingly, that's right. Long shot, you're out.
Out.
And Brian swears mine's not going to be long. It's a 4-1. I thought a horse. I picked this horse before. It's a long story. I'm hoping he's 6-1. 53,000 plus in the Pick 5 pool. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello. We'll be back here with Samantha, us, throughout the afternoon. This is a good card.